There are a ton of creature companions and pets that you can find in Skyrim. Big ones, little ones, fluffy ones, and too many legged ones. I'm going to show you all the ones you can get and where to find them. This does include Creation Club content and the base game DLCs. Also, if you liked the video, I'd really appreciate it. Consider subscribing for more Bethesda and RPG content. Let's start with the familiar, the fluffy, four-legged animals we love in our real lives. Dogs. Meeko is a lovable and friendly dog that can be found here just south of Meeko's shack in Hjalmarch. You'll notice that a lot of the dogs in Skyrim resemble this one, and that's because they base them on the real-world Irish wolfhounds. They are known to be sweet, loyal, and relatively calm breeds, but don't get it twisted. These dogs are fearless big game hunters and have been known to dispatch wolves in single combat. Pretty impressive stuff, and it's probably the reason that the developers chose their specific breed. Recruiting Meeko is easy, but it's definitely a sad conclusion. All you need to do is follow Meeko back to her shack. There you'll find her owner dead, and then you'll be able to recruit her. She can also be added as a pet to one of your homes, and since we're on the subject, you should know that not all companions can be pets, and not all pets can be companions. The difference is that the companions will follow you and help you in battle, while pets stay at your chosen homestead and live on the property. So please, go find her, and save her. Vigiliance is another Irish wolfhound that can be found at the stables in Markarth. Once there, you need to speak with a Breton man named Banning. He will give you some information on Vigiliance, and he will offer the dog to you for 500 gold. Banning tells you that he trains war dogs for the Jarl, and Vigiliance is no different. He is rearing to help you in any combat that you come across. And just like Meeko, he also can be added as a pet. Bran is a new type of dog we haven't encountered yet, based on the real-world husky. You'll find him in Fort Dawnguard in the Dawnguard DLC. What makes Bran unique, besides his breed type, is the fact that he is wrapped in the leather armor. Born and bred to fight as a war dog in the Dawnguard against the seditious vampire scourge, you'll have to join the Dawnguard if you want a chance to recruit this lovely fella. Bran can also be added as a pet to one of your homesteads. SceoLang. Sorry if I said that wrong. Just like Bran, this is another armored husky war dog that you can recruit once you join the Dawnguard. A fun fact is that the names Bran and SceoLang are a reference to an Irish legend and hero who had two warhounds with the same names. I don't know if we can consider these dogs really, but it seems fitting to put them in this category. CuSith is a deathhound that can be recruited at Castle Volkihar. These deathhounds are like the opposite of the armored huskies, as you'll have to join the vampire Volkihar clan to gain access to them. Deathhounds are undead creatures that fight with vampire masters against their enemies. Unfortunately, CuSith cannot be added to a homestead as a pet. But would you really trust this guy to be around your children? Wait, do you even remember the names of your children? Garmr is another deathhound that is recruited at Volkihar Castle just like CuSith. His name is a reference to a Norse mythology hound that guards the gates to Helheim. That does it for our good boys. A quick few notes I'd like to throw out is that you can find stray Irish wolfhounds in the wild that you can recruit as followers, but they just have the generic name of the strays and they are random encounters. Also, you can have Barnabas follow you around forever if you never finish his questline, so in a way, you could technically consider him a companion if you wanted. Also, there's Stump. He's not actually a pet in the game, but it is technically possible to give him a good home through a random series of events. Stump is owned by Frodnar in Riverwood, and he really likes the little girl and Frodnar's friend Dorothy. Well, if somehow Dorothy loses her parents, she will end up at the orphanage in Riften. Then if you adopt her, she will show up at your house with Stump trailing behind her, even though he isn't her dog. So then he will technically stay with her forever as long as she's adopted. It's pretty cool. Moving on from dogs, let's take a look at some other friendly animals that can be found in Skyrim. Hilda is a goat that can be found in Rorikstead. Her owner Halvar has trained her to be a faithful and loving companion capable of carrying some of your burdens. To keep her, you'll have to pay Halvar 200 gold. If you find Halvar's journal, you'll learn a bit about Hilda's past and her adventures. Hilda comes equipped with an animal pack, but feel free to remove it if you don't like the look. Also, speaking of looks, Hilda is one of the few pets in Skyrim that can wear an animal collar, purely cosmetic. She is very handy, she is considered essential and cannot be killed in combat. But she also won't fight for you either. She can be summoned with a teleportation spell, so she'll always be around to help carry the heavy stuff. Another cool thing about Hilda is that she can follow you, even if you already have another pet following you. Hilda is the GOAT, and I highly recommend recruiting her. Make sure you have a Sweetroll on hand for this next one. You'll find a trained fox south-southwest of Half Moon Mill right here. This fox's name is Sweetroll, and to recruit it, you will need to feed it a Sweetroll. The fox comes equipped with an animal collar, but you can take it off if you'd like. Just like Hilda, Sweetroll can be summoned using a teleportation spell at any time. And just like many of the creatures in this category, Sweetroll has an associated book that gives more background on the animal. You'll find it on a dead thief near Half Moon Mill, called the Thief's Journal. Sweetroll is unique in the fact that you can tell it to go find something valuable, and it will search around the area and bring back to you valuable items. So go out and get your own swiper. On the subject of foxes, if you have an adopted daughter at one of your houses, you may come home one day to her and find that she has brought a wild fox home and wants to keep it as a pet. This could either be Vix or Kit. They both look identical. They can't be followers and are just pets for your child. Thistle is a trained rabbit found at the abandoned alchemist shack in the mountain pass south of Iverstead. To recruit her, you'll need some carrots that you can feed to her. You'll find a curious note from the alchemist of Thistle and how she became useful to her owner. Thistle has a unique ability of being able to gather ingredients for you, and she can also give you a random ingredient once a day. Plus, she's just super adorable. Just like Vix and Kip from before, you can get another rabbit named Cotton from your adopted daughter. I guess we have to talk about Skritch. Skritch is a skeever that you can find in the Ratway. Sadly, he is locked up, so if you free him, he will then be able to follow you around. I was just kind of hoping he'd scamper off to freedom, but oh well. The associated journal for Skritch is called the Pickpocket's Journal, which is found nearby. Skritch can find food for you and will give you a random piece of food every day. He is also capable of wearing the animal pack, just like Hilda. I will say this one good thing about Skritch is that he has a full coat of hair and doesn't resemble the disease-ridden skeevers that you'll find throughout Skyrim. He's slightly better looking. Slightly. Also, before we get to the next category, and since we are on the subject of disease skeevers, it is possible for one of your children to ask you to keep a skeever as a pet named Biter. He cannot be a follower, but hey, another giant rat just for you. Well, your adopted kid. Let's jump right into the next category, and if you have arachnophobia, you might want to skip this one. Let's talk about our many-legged friends. This one is one of the few pets you can get that cannot become a follower. Pincer, the tamed mudcrab. To get him, you'll have to have a home and an adopted child with it. One day your child may approach you with Pincer and ask if they can keep him. If you say yes, then you'll have a little mudcrab wandering your home for the rest of time. This one is actually kind of cute though. Speaking of mudcrabs, you can actually find the Dwarven armored mudcrab in the Understone Keep, and this mudcrab is capable of following you on all of your adventures. You can purchase it from Calselmo, who tells you that he found the crab after exploring an ancient Dwemer ruin. It is mostly meant for carrying weight, and it doesn't help you out in fights, which is weird because it's literally wearing armor. It will also occasionally give you random clutter like ores, gems, or sometimes even gold. The Manic and Demented Elytra Nymphs. I decided to put these together because they are almost exactly the same. It's just that their colors are different and they are found in two separate locations. The Manic Nymph is captured in a cage at the Saints camp, and the Demented Nymph will be found in a cage at the Seducer camp. They are part of the Saints and Seducers Creation Club content. They are capable of following you or becoming pets. They will even produce a unique venom that you can use called Mystic Venom. They're creepy, but also pretty interesting. If you're this type of person, then more power to you. You can find a unique looking frostbite spider inside Kronvagr Cave. Her name is Arachnia, and she is trapped inside of a cage. Apparently, she is the victim of a vampire that would harvest her venom and inject it into her victims that she would then prey on. You'll find this info in the Vampire Naturalist Journal. Once you free her, she's yours for all time. You can ask her to spin a web that she will place on the ground to help web up your enemies, or you can ask her for her potent frostbite venom. Quickly moving on from that category, let's explore the more unique options that Skyrim has to offer. Creatures and even machines that are sure to catch your eye. The steadfast Dwarven Spider. To find this little bugger, you'll need to head to the Dwarven ruins of Kagramez and Solstheim and face its challenges. Specifically, you'll need to find it in a locked chamber after the first trial. It acts mostly like an animal follower, but it can also accept basic commands and it can't carry items. It fights exactly like a regular Dwarven Spider, even using its ranged lightning attack. Fulfill your dream Dwemer roleplay with this guy, and the next one we're going to talk about. The steadfast Dwarven Sphere. You'll find it in a locked chamber after you face the second trial. The automaton will remain in its sphere form when your weapon is sheathed. Upon unsheathing a weapon or if enemies are nearby, it will expand and attack as normal. It fights like a regular Dwarven Sphere, using melee attacks and a crossbow, which is unique for pets and animal companions because most don't have ranged attacks. Did you know you can get a Riekling as a follower? This one surprised me too. Once you become the honorary Riekling chief by completing the Chief of Thirstcall quest. I think a lot like me didn't side with the Rieklings during this event, so we lost the capability of gaining them as followers. So if you want to recruit Rieklings, then don't help the people take back Thirstmead Hall. Help the Rieklings. They only follow basic commands, but you can access their inventory, so they are capable of helping you carry stuff. They are also pretty decent at combat. They come equipped with their little spears, and they can even throw them. They are still considered pets, which means they can still be hired alongside a humanoid follower. They even have this cool mechanic, where the higher level you are, the Rieklings change as you recruit them, getting stronger the higher up you go. They can even show up randomly while you're traveling Solstheim to help you out in battles, and you can recruit them during that event as well. Last, but certainly not least, and probably many people's favorites, is the Armored Trolls. You can purchase one of these big boys after you've completed a few quests from the Dawnguard. They are built to wage war on the vampire and their ilk and are no pushovers. You can even get a frosted troll version at higher levels. You'll have to purchase one from Garmr for 500 gold, and despite what Garmr tells you, you can absolutely take the trolls with you anywhere and they won't attack anyone that isn't hostile towards you. Hired muscle is taken to a whole new level. That's it for my list. Which is your favorite? I'm really curious to know. Also, if I missed anything, then don't be shy and leave a comment. What else would you guys like to see me cover in Skyrim? It could range from lore to secrets to whatever. I'd like to hear all of your thoughts. If you enjoy this type of content and you want to see more, I encourage you to subscribe and like the video. I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great week. I'll see you in the next.